Are we back? West Ham just got relegated. Let's rebuild them, take them to the top. The goal is to win the Premier League, minimum 3 seasons, maximum 5 seasons. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. All right, so here is the squad. First thing I will say is we will try and keep this as realistic as possible. It won't be hyper realistic as we are trying to win the Premier League within 5 seasons at West Ham, but we will try and keep it as realistic as possible. So if we look at the squad, yeah, there's a lot wrong with it, I'll be honest, and a lot to improve. What I will say as well is Todibo, Somerville, we will look to sell as it seems realistic in real life. Bowen has confirmed he is staying and we will keep him throughout the whole save, of course, and he will remain the captain the entire way through. And then as for players we're bringing in, West Ham are linked with Engels, and I'm not sure who else they're linked with in real life, but I'm going to try and keep the signings as realistic as possible, see if we can bring in a striker, winger to replace Somerville, and also look to bring in Disasi, who had a very good loan move at West Ham last season, of course. And that, for me, is all I really need to talk about when it comes to the squad. So it's time now to go and make some signings and also make some sales. Our first signing, Arne Engels, young Belgian midfielder coming in from Celtic. He'll come in, be a starter straight away. Hopefully someone who develops into a top player for us in the future when we're playing Premier League football, and someone we can keep throughout the save. Fingers crossed he develops well. Now, a second signing confirmed, Axel Disasi, of course, coming back, this time on a permanent from Chelsea after a successful loan move at West Ham, comes in as a starting centre-back. Hopefully, he can pick up off where he left off and continue that very, very good form. He improves us short-term and definitely, could be added as depth long-term as we look to win the Premier League in the future. And after Disasi, in comes Abdul Fatawu from Leicester, who got relegated to League One. He is actually linked with West Ham in real life. We've brought him in for a decent fee. He's a young player that comes in, instantly starts and improves our spots out wide. And hopefully, we can see him, develop into a top player. He's got good potential, so let's see how he develops. And then our fourth and final signing, Ira Kunda, coming in from Watford, very young player, about 19 years of age. He's got bags of potential. Not the best right now, but we're still going to try and start him. I think he's good enough to start in the Championship, and he's a player that we've looked to bring in now from a team that are in the same division as us, being Watford. Sign him from them as we are a better team in the league. Convince him we will get promoted to the Premier League, and hopefully he can become a very, very good player for us in the Prem in the future. Right, so this is the full roundup of our transfer window. We bring in Irakunda for 5 million. We bring in Fatawu from Leicester, Arne Engels from Celtic, and we've also signed Axel Disasi as our 4 signings. James Ward-Prowse leaves to Fulham. Fulcrid has left to Brentford. Edson Alvarez leaves to Nottingham Forest. Maxwell Cornet off to Augsburg. And Somerville has joined Burnley as they are the team that offered him in this save. I know in real life he'd join a Premier League team, but ultimately we needed to sell him as that's the most realistic thing we can do, and we've sold him off to Burnley. So here's what these signings mean for Season 1 in the Championship. Fatawu out left, Bowen, Castellanos, Irakunda out right, Potts and Engels as our midfield 2 with Todibo, and, let me change that, Disasi being our starting centre-backs, Wan-Bissaka, Juve and Hermansen in net. Now, as for Todibo, did try sell him, no team came in for him, so I'm going to keep him, I'm going to start him as he is our best centre-back, of course. Now, you look at this team, you think, should be perfectly fine in the Championship, and honestly it better be, because we cannot be spending 2 seasons in the Championship if our goal is to win the Premier League within 5 years, and the dream is to do it in 3 years. We're going to try and do it as quick as we can. Here's what the bench looks like and the reserves. Now, the one thing about West Ham is they do have some decent young players. Scarles, of course, Magassa, Potts, so they do have some pretty good young players that are in at the club already. Even, I believe, Pablo's only 21. So, not a bad squad in the Championship. One of the better squads, of course. You would hope that we can get ourselves automatic promotion. But if not, just get promoted. Get to the Premier League. Try and win the league title. I look at this squad and I don't see... I don't think there's any reason why we shouldn't win the league title. But we're about to find out. I'm about to simulate the season. Season 1 in the Championship. Let's hope this team is able to win the league. Right, we have reached the end of Season 1 in the Championship. Let's find out how we did. And as you can see there, we won the league. Oh, hold on. Let me actually go to the... because it's just put us to the Premier League. We won the league. Wolves came second with 92. Burnley third with 91. And we win it with 93 points in 46 games. What a season. I'm very glad we won the league. The goal was just to get promoted or automatic promotion, but we've managed to win the league, which I did think was possible, in fairness, with the team that we had. In terms of the player statistics, Jarrod Bowen, unsurprisingly, top goal scorer of 20 goals and 9 assists. Although you would have thought someone would have got more in the championship as we won the league and we were dominant. Castellanos actually did get more in the championship. He got 19, which were all in the championship, and 13 assists. So actually, Castellanos would have been the player of the season. Nestoroy Irankunda got 14 goals, 41 matches played. That's a solid return for a player as young as him. Souček, 11 goals, every single one probably a header. And there is the rest of the charts. If we look at the assists, Castellanos top, Engels, Bowen, Souček, Wan-Bissaka, etc. So yeah, very good season for Bowen and Castellanos in particular. One thing I'm just interested in is seeing how players developed. So Juve went up 4, Todibo's gone up 2, Castellanos 1, Hermansson's very solid now, 79. Fatawu went up 2, would have wanted them to have gone up more if I'm honest. Pablo's up 2, Potts up 1, Engels up 1. Oh, a lot of this is disappointing, I'll be real. Kiba La Madrid up 3, Irankunda up 2. In terms of how players improved, that is quite disappointing. I would have liked to see bigger jumps, but at least Juve is a very good player. Now, due to a lot of players not improving the way we would have maybe wanted, this squad in the Premier League, yeah, definitely needs improving. Before we go into Season 2 and I show you the transfers we make in Season 2, I'll talk about where I want to improve. Centre-back, potentially bring in a centre-back. Definitely look to bring in another midfielder. And I like our strikers. We'll either bring in a striker, shift Bowen out wide, or bring in another top winger. So definitely a centre-back, midfielder and winger. And we'll see what else we do. As for sales, we'll see who we sell. But like I said, Bowen will stay. I'd like to keep Souček as well. I'd like to keep the players that mean something to West Ham in and around to try and keep it as realistic as possible. But changes needed to be made in Season 2. But that's the end of Season 1. Championship winners. Let's see what the team will be looking like in Season 2 once we make sales and signings. Now, upon winning the league and getting promoted from the Championship, we was given a £140 million budget to spend in the Premier League. Now, we have to make sure that we survive relegation in the first season, otherwise that's a major step back. So I had to try and make sure that I spent the money as wisely as possible, and I believe I did just that. So here is the first signing. He's coming in from Leicester, who got promoted from League One into the Championship. El Khanous. Spent around 30-something million pounds for him. He'll come in, he'll start, he'll be a massive improvement on what we currently have in that midfield. Very, very good signing, short term and long term. And our second signing coming in from Ranjawi Cisse, another midfielder. He come in, he might be a starter, I'll consider it. He could be just improving that depth in the midfield, but I wanted to bring in 2 midfielders. The squad was short, so I brought him in for a pretty good fee. Around £15 million. He'll come in, improve the squad once again for the short term and the long term. And then our third signing, a much needed signing in order to improve our centre-back department, comes in as a starter. Bit more of an experienced player to help us short term. Cameron Carter-Vickers coming in from Celtic, age 28. He will come in, immediately be a starter and hopefully help us make sure we don't end up getting relegated from the Premier League. And then our fourth and final signing is a striker. We will shift Bowen outright. Liam Delap, out of favour at Chelsea, Premier League experience, very good striker on this game, hopefully can do a job for us. 80 rated, he comes in, improves us immediately short term, going to be very good for us long term as well as he'll develop. Big signing, spent quite a bit on him, but I think he'll be a big improvement for our attack. In terms of our transfer history as a whole, El Khanous, Delap, Cisse and Carter-Vickers all coming in. We didn't sell anyone. We wanted to improve the squad depth as the squad was kind of thin and we had no need to sell anyone. So we've ultimately chose to keep all our players, bring in these 4 for what totals to around 100 million. And I ultimately think that will improve us a lot and should help us stay up in the Premier League. This is what these new additions mean for the team. Fatawu, Castellanos, Delap, Bowen, El Khanous, Cisse, Todibo, Carter-Vickers, Wan-Bissaka, Juve and Hermansson. This is our starting team in Season 2, first season back in the Premier League. Bench has Engels, Irankunda, the Sassy drops to the bench, Potts and Pablo. So it's a very solid squad now, an improvement from last season. This team, I'm hoping, is good enough to stay in the Premier League. The goals with this 11 this season, in Season 2, just stay up. And then next season, Season 3, if we are still in the Premier League, we'll make bigger signings, better signings, whilst trying to keep it realistic, of course. Hope some of these players develop, but I do think this team is good enough to avoid relegation in Season 2. But ultimately, what it comes down to is how it actually does on the pitch, and we're about to simulate Season 2. Let's hope we are able to avoid relegation. We have reached the end of the season, and I like to look at them results. The last 4 games didn't lose in the end of the month, and we beat United and Everton. Let's find out how we did in the league. 14th. That is not bad. How far off? So 43 points, very solid. 12 points clear relegation. So them results at the end of the season actually came pretty clutch. Let's actually check the month before. Ooh, we won 2 there. 1-1 there. Okay. So we won what? 3, 4, 4. So we went undefeated in 7 of our last 8 and won 5 of them. That is a crazy ending to the season, and that ultimately is probably why we saved ourselves there from relegation, if I am honest. So that is what the Prem table looks like, with us sat at 14th. Let's check who won the league, because why not? Man City, that is not a shock. So 14th, that's a very, very decent season. Unsurprisingly, once again, Jarrod Bowen, our top scorer of 19 goals in the Premier League with 7 assists, 22 all comps. Castellanos got 11 in the Premier League, 12 all comps. Fatawu with 6. La Madrid with 6. He played a lot of games in the Premier League, surprisingly. Liam Delap got 4 goals. You'd have wanted him to have had more. Cisse with 4 in terms of assists. Engels with 8. That's very good. Bowen 7. Castellanos with 5. That's not too bad, but you would have wanted more there from Liam Delap, I can't lie, and a few of the other players, but ultimately when we finished 14th, can't complain too much. This is what the squad is looking like. So Fatawu up to 80, Castellanos 83, Delap only went up 1, Bowen's up to 86, El Canusa's gone to an 82, Cisse's gone up to 79, Tadibo 80, Vickers went up 1, Basaka up 1, Druth is now 84, Hermansen is 80. Engels 75, Irankunda only 73. There's a lot of players that have not developed the way you would have wanted. And I do think, looking at this squad, if we're to make a European push next season, which is the goal, because we want to win the league now as soon as we can, we're going to try and push for Europe next season. We're going to have to make some solid signings. I'm happy with the 2 strikers. I'm going to keep the 2 strikers as it is. Keep the wingers as it is. In fact, I might bring in a backup winger. Yeah, I'll probably bring in a backup winger. As for the midfield, maybe I'll bring in another midfielder, a top midfielder, and I might sell one of the current ones. And it might be time to bring in another big centre-back. We might need to bring in a top centre-back to really improve that defence. As for the fullbacks, I'm fine. Keeper, I'm fine. So it looks like top centre-back, potentially a top midfielder, and then potentially a backup winger, or maybe even a top winger that can start. So that's the end of Season 2. We finished 14th. Not the end of the world. Pretty solid. I'll take it. Next season, to Season 3, we're going to be pushing for Europe. Season 3 is here, and we've only been given 86 million to spend. Now, that's not only for West Ham, but considering we were given like almost double that the season before, I was hoping we'd get more money. So going into this season, we're going to have to sell some players, and then we are going to make some signings, but I think I'll only be able to sign 3 or 4 players. They're going to need to be instant starters, improve the starting 11 ASAP, as we're going to try and hope we can miraculously, should I say, push for Europe. But that 86 million is a stumbling block in our 3rd season, I can't lie. But yeah, we're going to see what we can do. I'll show you the players we signed, and then after that, I'll show you the sales we made to help fund them signings. So here is our first signing, Andreas Schelderup, 23 years of age, 81 rated, coming in from Benfica. Very good young winger. He comes in as a starter, and I'm hoping he can develop quickly in his first and then the following seasons, as we're going to need him to become a top player for us if we're to have a chance at winning this league title within 5 years. Following player comes from Sunderland, Siddiqui. Now, to be clear, Sunderland got relegated, so realistic, right? He's joining a Premier League team in West Ham. Very good signing, 82 rated, 22-year-old. Again, I'm hoping he develops to be a monster in that midfield. We're going to need him to do that. I need these guys to develop instantly this season. Don't mess about if we're to have a chance at completing this challenge. And our third, and unfortunately for us, last signing, Alexandro, 83 rated from Benfica. Second signing from Benfica, 2 out of the 3 players. He comes in as a centre-back, instantly improves our short term. He can hopefully develop as well into a better centre-back. But he comes in, makes us a lot better, and hopefully will help us go for our push in Europe. Here is our transfer history. Buildup in, Sadiki, we've signed as Sunderland got relegated, and Alexandro, the second guy from Benfica, also joining us. We sold Magassa, Mavropanos, Kyle Walker-Peters, Pablo, La Madrid, Forbes, and we also sold Sassy, who we brought in the first season. Only reason we sold him was because he wanted to leave and he had less than a year left on his deal. So we had to sell him instead of lose him out on a free. This is the squad, what it's looking like after transfers in the third season. Castellanos, Delap, Bowen, Buildup, Sadiki, Elkanous, Carter Vickers, Alexandro, Juve, Wan-Bissaka and Hermansen is the starting 11. Now, the goal is to win the Premier League within 5 years. We're in the third season. And there's no really major unrealistic way out of this, as we're going to try and keep it semi-realistic, although it can't be fully realistic as we're trying to win the league in 5 years. We could be quite a bit off that. And I don't even think we'll get Europe with this team. So this challenge could be quite hard to complete. We definitely won't be winning the league this year. If I'm looking at this current squad, yeah, looking at that bench, oh my life, that bench reeks. I'm hoping we can get top 10. I don't think we'll get Europe. We finished 14th last season. We could squeeze in Conference League, Europa League. We'll see. We need these players like Buildup, like Sadiki, like Elkanous, Alexandro to develop instantly. But yeah, this challenge might be harder than anticipated. But let's see how we do in Season 3. The goal, get that European football, try and squeeze it. My expectation, though, realistically, looking at this squad, is to get top 10. But let's see how we do in year 3 with this West Ham United rebuild. All right, we have reached the end of Season 3. Now, I'm not going to lie, them last results in the calendar aren't looking great. 2 defeats, 1 win. The goal was to get European football any kind. The expectation was that we end up getting top 10. We're going to find out now together how we done in the league. We finished 6th. Genuinely amazing. Exactly what we wanted. We got Europa League football. Oh, never mind, because it's FC. We got Conference League football because 6th is Conference League in FC, apparently. Sunderland, Newcastle beneath us. Let's look at the rest of the table. Yeah, no surprises there. Chelsea won the league. Oh, the things I would do for that to happen in real life, genuinely. Chelsea win it, Arsenal, United. But we get Conference League, we get European football, which will allow us to attract better players next season. So that is absolutely massive. And we achieved the goal we wanted in Season 3. As for our top goal scorers, Tati Castellanos, 31 all comps, 21 in the league. He has been an absolute joke. Bowen didn't do as well in the league. He got 7 goals in the league, 12 in all comps. 6 assists. Buildup got 10 and 10, 9 and 8 in the league. The lap 6. Now, how has this team got 6th? You look at these, what will be just like an absolute absurdly good defensive team? How many clean sheets? No. I'm very confused as to how this team's managed to win the league. That's the guys with the top assists. Yeah, I'm very confused. In fact, let me check the Premier League table again and let's just see. 61 goals, 53. I guess the goals are just very evenly shared. In terms of player development, again, it's not what you would want. We wanted Buildup higher than that. Bowen 88 is amazing. He is our best player, West Ham's best player, as he should be. Alexandro 83 still. Juve has remained. Virtually everyone's remained. Sadiki and Elkanous +1. Few other +1s, but there's improvement needed. And that is potentially going to be another centre-back. This time a very good one. Someone better than Alexandro. Potentially a better right-back, and we'll drop Wan-Bissaka as backup. And then it might... Ooh, I'm not sure. So right-back, centre-back. And I think the other position... If we have money to spend on a big player, like another big winger, we might do that, or striker, or we might only make 2 or 3 signings. We will see. But there is definitely room for improvement on the bench. So we're at the minimum look to improve the depth. with that in mind, the goal next season, top 4. That's the goal. Top 4 next season. But yeah, so I've explained where I'm looking to improve. Any potential sales, I will show you, of course, as we begin season 4. Season 4 is here, and we were given a bigger budget to spend than the previous season. We have been given 100 million basically on the dot to spend. We're going to sell some players to try and, you know, increase that amount that we can spend, and then hopefully we can improve the starting 11 in 2 or 3 positions, and then maybe add a player or 2 to improve the depth. A big season as our push now is top 4. We need to get this window right, and hopefully we're able to make the right improvements to get Champions League football come the end of this season. The first player that we bring in is a centre-back from Everton, Jared Branthwaite. He comes in immediately a starter for us, of course. Very good player for the short term and for the following season as well. Hopefully he can develop and be that even bit better for the 5th season, where we will hope to push for the league. And then I said we were going to look to bring in a starting right back, and we have done just that. Connor Bradley coming in from Nottingham Forest. He's 84 rated. He's a big improvement on our current right back, which was Wan-Bissaka, who now becomes the backup. So that's 2 starting positions in the defence immediately improved. So I'm expecting us to be much better defensively next season. And our third signing to improve the depth, a backup striker, Nicholas Jackson, coming in from Chelsea. He'll come in and be a very solid backup to Castellanos, which, you know, we now do need. He's going to be hopefully a very solid backup. Maybe he can develop and become even better. But yes, Nicholas Jackson in as a backup. And then our last and 4th signing, Angel Gomez. He returns to England from Marseille. He will be a backup to El Canouse as an attacking midfielder, comes in and improves that depth, which, as I said at the end of season 3, we desperately needed to do. So here is our transfer history. Jackson in, Angel Gomez in, Jared Branthwaite and Connor Bradley, the 4 signings we made, coming in, improving the start 11 and our depth. And we sold Liam Delap because we got an offer that was too good to turn down, 60 million, hence why we bought Jackson. And we also sold Max Kilman. So 2 sales, 4 players in. The depth has got better. The starting 11 has got better. And I'll show you what that means for the current team. This is what the team's now looking like. We've changed the formation. Castellanos up top. Shelder up out left. Bowen on the right. El Canouse, Cisse and Siddiqui form the midfield. Wan-Bissaka is no longer the right back. Connor Bradley will be. Carter Vickers as well out for Branthwaite. So that's the new centre-backs, Branthwaite, Alexandro, then Juve and Hermansen. It's a very solid team. Can it push for top 4? I think it will be close. We need development to happen quick throughout the season. But yeah, this is the bench. As you can tell, it has improved. We'll just put Jackson, Carter Vickers, Gomez and Wan-Bissaka on the bench. And that's the bench. It's definitely improved the squad as a whole. Let's hope we can get Champions League football. Maybe we will just miss out. My goal and hope is we get Champions League football at the end of the season. My expectation is we just end up finishing top 6 again. But I'm hoping they can prove me wrong once again and we get Champions League football in season 4. But nevertheless, we're about to find out as we are now going to simulate the season. Let's hope that we are able to get top 4. Right, we have reached the end of season 4. That end of the season there last month, it's not looking promising. Let's find out where we finished in the league. 11th. We dropped down to 11th. We did worse in our 4th season than we did our 3rd. 51 points. And the goal is to win the league and we have 1 season left. Yeah, that is not great at all. Let's just check the goals and assists. Castellanos not doing as well as let us down. Oh, my days. Jared Bowen had a bad injury. He got 1 goal in this season. He got badly injured. That massively let us down, I will not lie. Shelderup came in, stepped in for Bowen. Got 15 goals. He's developed a lot. Cisse got 7. Irakunda, 7. Gomez got 10 assists. He looked all right, I guess. But yeah, that season, dreadful. 11th. And we need to now somehow win the league. Right, for this last season, we need to lock in. So we need to look at this team. Shelder, Castellanos, Bowen. El Canouse, Cisse, Siddiqui. Bradley, Branthwaite, Alexandro, Juve, and Hermansen. Now, right, let me think here. I'll probably sell Carter Vickers and probably sell Wan-Bissaka and Todibo, maybe. We'll see. But we need... Oh... I wouldn't mind moving Kudus here and bringing in... We might need to bring in a very good 10. That's the first thing. I think we need to go for 2 players that are virtually like world-class or borderline world-class, like 86, 87 rated, 85, around that. So one will be a 10. And there's a world where I sell Castellanos and then go all out on a big striker. And maybe the same one of the centre-backs. We're going to see what we'll do. I'll see you in Season 5. But we need to somehow win the league, so a lot needs to change. We're at Season 5. We were given 100 million once again. I had to make a couple big sales, and I made 2 very big signings and then another signing to improve our depth in the hopes that it would be enough for us to win the league. But the first big signing that we made was signing Akliouche from Monaco as our new starting attacking midfielder as we move El Khanous as one of the 2 midfielders sitting behind him. Big signing, big player, 86 rated. He'll come in, hopefully develop a bit throughout the season and be a big improvement on the current team. And then the next big signing, there's a new striker, Samu Omorodion, coming in, 87 rated. He's an improvement on what Castellanos was. Hopefully he can come in and have a much better season and score more goals than Castellanos managed last season and play a part in hopefully us miraculously winning the league. And then the third signing is a centre-back just to improve that depth in case of any injuries. He could also potentially start Diakite, 84 rated. Like I said, the main, reason for signing him is just to give us that defensive assurance in case we get an injury as our depth was running low. Here is our transfer history. Samu in, 91 million, Diakite 30 and Akliouche 82. We sold Castellanos to Roma for 75, sold Carter Vickers, sold Fatawu and Todibo. All of these players wanted to leave, hence why we ultimately ended up selling them, and it also allowed us to sign Samu and Akliouche, which was needed as we're going to be pushing for the league. This is the squad that we're going to be trying to win the league with. Very unlikely, I know. Buildup, Samu, Bowen, Akliouche, El Khanous, Siddique, Bradley, Alexandro, Branthwaite, Juve, and Hermansen. For this challenge, I gave myself a maximum of 5 seasons. So this is the last season. This is the bench. It's not great. We've gone all out on the 11. Let's hope injuries don't screw us over. Do I think we'll win the league? No. But that's the goal. So we're going to go into Season 5. Let's hope we're able to pull off a miracle. We are here. We are at the end of Season 5. It all comes down to this. I'm praying that these lot have somehow pulled off a miracle. Here we are. Them last results aren't looking great. April, it's not looking great. March, let's just see. Where did we finish? 5th. We finished and failed a challenge, finishing 14 points off top. Best finish was the last season. 5th place, 73 points. But we were not able to win the league within 5 seasons with West Ham. This is the team. How it ended. Buildup finished on 90 rating, Samu 89, Akliouche 87. So the players just decided they wanted to develop, I guess, on the last season. Do I think we could have won the league with this team? With another signing, potentially. Maybe 1 or 2. But the challenge was to do it in 5. We weren't able to do it. Weren't able to complete West Ham's the rebuild. We at least rebuilt them, I guess, to a European football team. Let's check the stats. Who done what? Was Samu good? Nah, 30. Nah, he wasn't. Buildup was good. Bowen reignited himself, to be fair. Any other stats? 10 assists for Cisse. He was a decent servant. We signed him a long time ago. He got up to 80 rated. But ultimately, it wasn't enough, man. And we weren't able to win the league. Shall we check the cup competitions? Can we cope with something here? Nope. Nope. Yeah. Absolutely nothing. And that is the end of the rebuild. Finishing 5th from the last season. 14 points off the title. and unfortunately we did fail. That's the end of the video, the end of the West Ham rebuild. Now, if you like the idea where I limit myself and give myself a challenge like maximum 5 years, let me know. Or do you think I should just go all the way? So if it takes 7 or so seasons, just continue going. I like the challenge idea, make it more challenging whilst trying to not go crazily unrealistic. We failed with the West Ham challenge, but I'm sure there'll be another one we'll be able to succeed with in the future, not long from now, as I'm trying to be as consistent as I can. This is the second video on this channel. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.